Hi guys, it's Donald Mustard here with Team Dragonsteel at Gen Con 2024. I'm here with Katie Payne, the art director of the Stormlight RPG. How are you doing today, Katie?
Doing fantastic, thanks, Donald.
Glad to hear it. So, first question right off the bat, what got you into being the art director for Stormlight RPG? What's the journey?
Oh man, how did I, all right, so, okay. I've got a history of fan art.
Yes.
The first one I ever did was like 2017.
Okay.
And I showed it to Brandon and at a convention, much smaller back then, much more accessible person. Yes, and he was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Like, you know, you should talk to Isaac. And so I did, and then we networked that way.
Okay.
And then did some things, but starting 2020, I had like a soul searching, just a refresh with my art. And I remembered being a kid, 12, 13, and how I would draw hundreds. I was just this crazy weirdo art kid. It was a weird. My mom friend was just telling me, remember you used to draw all over your pants? I would draw these like super hyper like detailed pants, and I'd wear them to school. Yes.
Like on white pants, or were they just like
white? Yes, it was like I was a crazy weirdo art kid, right? And I would draw these hundreds and hundreds of fans. I was just like sitting on the computer, just drawing them. And when it hit 2020, I just thought, what happened to that girl? You know, she's kind of fading into the hardships of life, you know. Gotcha. I'm becoming something the hardships of life wants me to be, and I just want to be that creative, crazy weirdo art kid again. Right. So I started going, well, what do I love? And I love Brandon's books. So I thought, I'm going to make these, and I'm going to make fan art, and I'm going to go as hard and extreme as I can go. So I did, the one that I did that was it's the one of the heralds. Okay. And that's one of my most popular images, and it's like on the Wikipedia. But when I made it, I didn't even think it would be popular. I just made it because I just felt it, this fire. It was really complicated. So doing that, I went to Dragonsteel Convention. I got Johnny's attention that way, and he thought that's the kind of person I would want to art direct the RPG and the Mistborn deck building game and others.
So, I'm biased. I've known you for about 3 to 4 years now, and when you were bringing up, you know, art just kind of coming out of you, you've done a couple drafts with me, Brandon, and some of our coworkers. I remember you had gone to our whiteboard at the office and had just drawn this gorgeous whiteboard mural of all these sorts of things. And I feel for what it's worth, you have reconnected to that little girl. It's like, yes. Art. So it's quite impressive. So with the art direction of Stormlight, what's that been like? Is this your first time art directing, or?
Yes.
Okay, so how has it been?
It's been really great. Just hundreds of images. It was my first time, but then, you know, now we're at like 400-ish images. That's
insane.
Yeah, and each one, it takes an enormous amount of mental energy. Researching, poring over every single canonical, important detail. The visual side has got to be beautiful. You know, a lot of these artists have never read these books. And so I'm that communicator and also that artist voice advocating for the beauty and for the accuracy. Right. And also just working with people, being kind, being patient. You know, a lot of people's pets died. And yeah.
I would not have considered that.
Yeah, and they you know, you just got to be empathetic and I you know, as an artist myself, I know, you know, fostering that creative fire leads to great work, and so I've tried to do that with all these artists.
Gotcha. So would you consider yourself a lore master at this point?
A lore master?
Yeah, if you've got to have all these accuracies, you're like, well, look, this singer needs this kind of thing.
Yeah. I know a lot of really obscure and random facts about visuals that you never would have thought about.
What's the weirdest one to you? Or what's the one you're like, no one except me probably knows this?
Oh my gosh. The Fused and the Singers have a lot of really specific visual details that are invented. Okay. And so constantly with those, it's been a lot of like the carapace needs to look more crabby. The different shades. You've got 2 base shades, and then you've got the marbling and the very specific reds it's not just a red. It's a very specific red for the reds. And like when they upgrade to the fused, their eyes are completely red.
Right.
But when they're below, it's black. Like their eyes are black.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And so those details are constantly swimming in my head.
Right.
Very aware. In the fuse they have like violet tips and anyway, just things that I know that other people might not realize.
Right. We probably would not have noticed, but I mean, art is the enhancement of all of this stuff. I'm sure for the people who will know this thing, they're like, Katie got the purple tips. That's what we needed for all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
violet.
Violet.
Like a very specific. Yeah.
Do you have like the color codes of just like all of this information?
I do. Yes. It's been every time I finish a commission, and then every week it gets checked with Dragonsteel and Isaac. Every week we're looking at it. And Ben too, Ben McSweeney.
Okay.
They're looking at it. They're scrutinizing it. They're saying they're giving their input. So with that, it's extremely canonical with what we've been doing.
Right.
So every time we finish a piece and we've reviewed the heck out of it, and there's another similar piece, I've sent that. It's been like building upon it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what do you find is the most common tip you have to come back with, being like, oh, we're hoping the art will look a little more like this, or oh, we need the color to be.
I mean, a lot of feedback about Singer, fused, carapace. Not that many spikes. Sorry, pull back the spikes. Can you round them? Not that sharp. Can you just make it look a little bit more crab-like? And a lot of feedback like that. Their hair, it's not fine. It's flat. It's flat like grass. It's flat like pasta. I've sent pasta images pointed like this.
Really?
Yes.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to follow up on that, then I'm curious, do you have a favorite art piece that you've been able to direct, or even a couple that you would shout out?
I mean, this one, the covers have been incredible. I mean, look how gorgeous. I know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, every person that's walking into this room at Gen Con has been like, well, this is incredible.
But very randomly, aside from the covers, I commissioned this vignette of Midnight Essence, humanoid, and beastie.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I think because I loved drawing beasties as a kid. That was so epic for me because there was nothing. There was no official art for these things. So that was like a lot of fun, and I'm really happy with all those vignettes. They're just vignettes, but like my heart.
They make you happy.
Yeah, because the beasts show up in the first Way of King book.
Yeah.
So I remember reading that book in like 2011 or whatever, and visualizing that. And so to now, I was like, I'm because it's canonical. We run it by Isaac Dragonsteel. Yeah, that looks right. That's good. Yeah. And so he's like, that's it. Like it was an obscure kind of difficult thing to art direct, but like we got it, and it looks so sick. Like anyway, random love.
No, I was gonna say your excitement is making me. As a fan of just RPGs, I'm just like, I'm so excited to get my hands and just see all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
So you brought up your own imagination of In the Way of Kings, right? You have your own version of this. What's it been like collaborating with Team Dragonsteel, with Brotherwise, and kind of pulling together the vision of Roshar? Oh,
I love it. Whenever they've opened their mouth about something, I've just it's just like a class and I'm learning, I have the books, and then I have, Isaac and Ben, because, they've been doing it for so long, and, there's so many things, like, I'm just like, wow. Like, for example, Isaac, I actually drew for the RPG because I'm doing art for it too.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing art for it too. So there was this, one of the characters had a pain reel, and then Isaac's like, and she had it on, he's like, it's a little bit smaller. I'm like, oh wow, really? It's smaller? Like, good to know. And I made it smaller. It's just cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
What have you found to be like your favorite little details? Like, what is the parts of Roshar that you are just excited to bring into real existence, other than the Midnight Essence, I should say?
You gotta ask yourself, should there be a spren in this scene?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what spren and why? Yeah. So this spren are just this magical thing that you've got to constantly be thinking about. That has been really fun to add in where you can.
Interesting. For me, I didn't even consider how long that would take, or where you would be like, oh right, there's hundreds of spren just around this world.
Yeah.
Is that something you had to commonly like notate to be like, we need more Spren in
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Yeah, like we one of the Stonewalker cover. It was actually Petar. Shout out to Petar. He did the cover. He did the art for the cover.
Very nice.
And he said, "Well, what's Spren in the scene?" We're like, "Yes, the Spren, of course." Yes. So Johnny actually researched it. He sent this huge list of like, well, all these Spren could be in it, but just pick what you want. You know, it could be, yeah, you know, a wind Spren, a music Spren, a live Spren, a pain, you know, and also this guy's got a Spren, and oh yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, to my understanding, you don't have a ton of RPG experience, correct?
I mean, I played a lot of video games.
Right.
Yes. I mean, Pokemon's an RPG.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
No, you got me there. I should specify TTRPG, tabletop RPG.
Not a specific tabletop RPG experience.
Okay, so coming into this as a non-TTRPG player, but a big gamer,
Yeah.
what's it been like working on the RPG and being like, how can I drive the vision of this to help those game masters and stuff understand the world?
I mean, you just got to get it right. The image on the paper's got to be exactly it. This is the book, right? And that's what I know how to do. I know how to, like, I understand the books very well. I've been very into them for a very long time and felt them dearly and visualized them intensely. And you know, and so I hope the GMs get that message through the, you know, the art.
Well, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Katie, it's always a pleasure.
Of course, Donald.
Good to see you. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.